Welcome to No Room for Phonies, episode 139.
10 ways to uncomplicate fatherhood. Actually, it might be 20 because we're each have
Are
our
you
own
different?
list.
Oh, well, we'll see how we overlap.
We might
We
overlap.
made our list separately, and I guess I don't really have the right to make a list about fathers, but we'll
Well,
see.
why not? We speak into
We'll
each other. We
see
speak
if,
into each other's lives. That's totally
yeah.
fine.
So anyway, my list, shall I start with number one?
Well, and then I'll do my number one.
Okay. My first one is one way to uncomplicate fatherhood is to ignore societal pressure to be the father that you want to be and that feels right to you. And the example that I use is that you can be a stay-at-home dad without feeling that you are not providing for your family.
Yeah, that's a big societal pressure
Mm-hmm.
and long-term culturally ingrained in our system and in our psyche. So it definitely
I just
is
thought that was one way
hard
to kind
push
of
against. And it does uncomplicate it if you're not caving in
to that.
to that pressure.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first tip for an uncomplicated fatherhood is to stay connected to the children's mother
Right.
by sharing emotions, presence, thoughts, and ideas and plans.
So that kind of goes a little bit with my second one, was to get in touch with your feelings
Mhm.
and find other men to share your struggles and feelings with.
Important to have other men or dads, I mean, preferably experienced dads or going
But
through
I
the
just
same
think
time.
that it's such an unnatural thing for men.
It is unnatural.
And
for
so-
us,
and I think
particularly
it's-
in North American.
And I think it's
Culture.
I really think it's a problem.
Yeah, I think it's a huge
I think
deficit.
it's actually making our kids, like, I'm actually reading a book right now about Navy SEALs.
Okay.
And one of the things he says, like, he went through Hell Week as a Navy SEAL. And the one thing he says is that you have to feel all the pain, all the feelings, everything. You have to feel it all
Mm-hmm.
and kind of let it out, but you can't let it stop you
But you have your Navy SEAL buddies who are going through it too.
Yeah.
Did you talk about that?
not, well, he talks about the people around you
Yeah. So
being the
yeah.
people that are encouraging you and not like holding you back.
Okay. Sounds
So-
good. So that was my number.
My number two.
Right. So my number two. You might as well give your number three because my screensaver just.
Oh, okay. My number three is kind of related to number two because it says seek counseling if you need it for lots of reasons, to create boundaries, to deal with past issues and baggage and trauma, etc. So not to be afraid to go and get help.
Well, that's interesting. For my number two, it's find or keep good mentors. We are influenced by the 5 people we spend most of our time with, so choose your friends wisely.
Yeah, so that's very similar to my number
yeah,
two.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then your number 3 was seek counseling. My number 3 was be curious about who your child is becoming and allow for personality, but encourage change and growth and curiosity in your child.
Oh, that's cool. So my number 4 is initiate fun and play with your family. Take charge of planning trips and events and just fun, simple days together. Nothing has to cost a lot of money, but initiating silliness and play need to be a priority for dads.
That's one thing I wished I had done more of once I went back to work. I did
Yeah.
that. I did that when I was the stay-at-home
No,
dad,
but that's why I think it's a priority to
Yeah.
uncomplicate things. When you come home, you can shed that kind of mantle of I'm the big provider and just play.
But also think about the weekends, think
Yeah.
about the summers, and
Yeah.
because you ended up doing a lot of that, and that's one thing I
whatever.
wished I had done more of. It's okay. I'm just
Yeah, no.
being honest with
No.
our listeners. Number 4 for me is kind of tied to my number 3. Avoid labels that feed a fixed mindset about your child.
Yes.
So don't say you're shy or you
Yes.
are anxious or you're too talkative or whatever.
Yeah,
Just
and the
avoid
the other
labeling.
book that I read, Good Inside, really helps with, it's a parenting book, but it really helps with kind of saying, okay, I understand right now that you feel like nervous or shy, but that's not who you are.
Right.
This is just an experience that we have to work through so that you have a new experience that you can move on from, that it doesn't have to be the same the next
and you
time.
have the skills.
And you have the skills to do it. So,
my number, are we at 5?
Yeah, my number 5 is speak up. You don't have to always go with or agree with what your partner does. Don't defer just because you are the dad. And I don't mean to have big knockdown, drag out fights in front of your kids, but just because
assert
like
your
there's that, what did they call it?
Gatekeeping. Maternal gatekeeping.
Yeah, you don't have, like, you can be the planner or the initiator or you can say, no, it's okay, I'll take the kid and do this.
Or if the mother's super anxious about something, you can walk her through that anxiety and take the kids and do the adventure anyway.
Well, and the other thing is you can say, well, yes, but you can also say, like, when like women tend to rush around the night before school and everything, getting all the lunches ready and doing all that, you can say, don't worry about it. You go sit down, read a book. I've got this. And then women have to get to the point where they accept what you choose.
I just had a conversation at work with somebody whose daughter said, who packed my lunch today? Because it wasn't stacked the way the daughter got used
I love it. That's so fun. That's good for kids.
Yeah. My number 5 is, I was going to tell a story.
Yes. You were.
My school was going on, in high school, we were going on a trip to a coastal city in Colombia, and there was going to be an opportunity for scuba diving and snorkeling. And my mom's like, no way, you cannot snorkel, you cannot scuba dive. And my dad was like, no, he can if he wants to. It's his choice. You can't tell him. And we won't know if he's doing it or not, because prior to cell phones.
Right.
So, in the end, I just snorkeled a little bit. I didn't want to scuba dive. But
right.
I think she input that anxiety into me.
Yes, and that is something we have to be so careful of.
I lost that opportunity to try
be
something.
A risk taker, yeah.
My number 5 is 10 ways to uncomplicate fatherhood is take care of your health with diet, co-exercise with your children, and sleep as much as possible. Of course, with the youngest stages, it's harder, but once they're sleeping through the night, try and do that as much as possible. A friend sent me a list of 5 things that if you don't maintain them, you can have a shorter fuse and snap and have a more unpleasant temper.
Oh yeah.
And one, of course, sleep is one, and diet and lack of exercise. There's a couple others, but if you maintain those 5 as much as you can, you'll have a better mood. And
right.
Overall. So,
I'd like to know the other 2.
I'll tell you later.
Okay. All right. Number 6 is exactly what you just said, basically.
Okay.
Self-care is also a thing for dads. You might not need a spa day.
Hey, massage wouldn't be bad.
But eating properly, exercising, having a hobby is as important for dads as it is for moms. And I think dads feel more guilty because they are sometimes at work all day. And so then...
But if they could to come and tune out and play video games for 3 hours while the kids just watch
them, that's not what I'm meaning. No, that's not what I'm meaning. No. But it's identifying that you do need exercise and good food. Like, it's basically what you said.
Yeah. Number 7. No, I didn't do number 6.
No, you didn't do number 6.
If you don't believe in playing the lottery, don't spend thousands of dollars on your child's chances to join the National Hockey League or a different sport franchises or becoming the prima donna of a national ballet company, unless they are truly a prodigy. And even then, you want to be cautious of robbing them of their childhood.
I agree. I think that's become a huge issue now. There's no such thing as like... local teams and just, it's everything's travel and it's competition.
You don't need to spend
and it's
thousands of
people
dollars.
Spending all this money staying in hotels and, and when I was at the dance recital.
You might as well play the lottery with that money because it's all getting thrown away.
When I went to the dance recital even, it was like the golden ticket. Well, that golden ticket is not like all the money to go to that dance thing in Belgium or wherever it is. It's just you get to go to the thing when
'Cause you're
your
good enough.
parents pay for you
But you're
to
not
get
getting
to Belgium.
sponsored.
And I guess,
It's
and
not
guess what?
America's Got Talent.
You're not, when you're 10 or 12, you're not going to Belgium by yourself.
No.
So, it's just, so number 7, you're going to hate. But I say
You mean me,
either
not our
keep-
listeners.
Maybe not. Keep or be part of a list and a calendar. Know what's happening in your home, who your kids' friends and teachers are, what activities they have, what needs to be done in your home, and don't give in to that maternal gatekeeping.
I know it wasn't perfect, but our family planner that we had with the 4 rows for each of us and the 2 kids, that worked very well when our kids were all the way through
that
high
family
school.
planner is still available.
Yep. Do you remember the brand?
Yes.
North Star or
something. I
Anyway.
can put it in the show notes because
Yep.
it really did work well at that
It
stage
did work.
because it had
you
the
were the
meal-
one who did all the writing in it.
It
but
had all the meals. It had what we were doing. It had like what
appointments, homework, supplies. all that
it
kind of
really
stuff.
did work. So that's my.
Sports
And there's all these
play dates with
comedians that
friends.
joke. Like there's even the Nate Bargatze one
Yeah.
where they call from the school and say. And he's like, you saw all that list of names and you called the father. You thought the father would know. And that's wrong. Like
It's
that's
wrong.
cultural.
Yeah, that's
And
the whole dumbing. That's the whole dumbing down.
Do we
of
want to
fatherhood.
uncomplicate fatherhood? Don't complicate it by thinking that you're incompetent.
Yeah. Don't be dumb.
Yeah.
My number 7 is don't hold grudges towards your child for their behavior or for the sacrifices you've made for their well-being and their future. Because sometimes you hear dads holding grudges about, oh, my kid, he's so wild, he's so hyper.
Yes.
It just drains me. Ugh.
Yeah.
But they carry it in, and then that starts coming out towards the kids.
And number 8 for me is similar to what I was saying, like just ending kind of a segue.
Mm-hmm.
Believe you are competent. Confidence is about believing that you really know what you feel, and it is about feeling at home with yourself, being internally confident so that you don't need outside validation and so that you are not susceptible to outside judgment. And if you are like that, then you lead with validation and you model that your feelings are real and manageable so that your kids see that in you. And that really does uncomplicate things because you're just being your true self.
Yeah. And people think that men don't have self-image issues, but
yes.
we do. Not
yes.
just about our appearance, but our confidence around all sorts of things.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest triggers of shame for men is a perception that they're weaker than, not physically, but weaker in any particular way. I can't provide as well. My job isn't as good, blah, blah, blah. So definitely don't cave to that. My number 8 is keep expectations of your children age appropriate but also lean towards a sense of etiquette, manners, and respect for others. I just was always so annoyed with little boys, usually, that would just ram into me.
Yes.
Often hitting me in the groin. Just not on purpose, just being silly and ramming into the adults in the group that their parents were visiting. Whereas we to our kids, it's like, no, you don't go and ram into people's legs and bodies.
Or jumping on them. We have a lot of that.
Yeah.
We've had to deal with some of that in the pool. Yes, you can horseplay and have fun and everything, but it's kind of just like, are you part of a game or am I swimming along myself as an adult? And then you just kind of...
Right. But then also the thank yous and the please.
Yep.
Saying thank you and please.
Actually, of just having a discussion about that.
And I know when we were kids, we had to call our friends' parents Mr. and Mrs. by their last name.
No, I don't even mean about that. But after birthday parties, like for our kids, we wrote handwritten notes and sent them to people who had given us birthday presents. Handwritten notes are practically...
in Spanish, we have the term well-educated, but it doesn't mean book knowledge. It means well-mannered. Yeah. But it is learned behavior.
Yeah. And if a father is modeling that, that's really actually huge. My number 9 is read about and do research about parenting. Always look for ways to try and do things differently and better.
Mm-hmm. And my number 9 is remember they watch and copy you.
Yeah, it's true. I just need to move this I think I need to move it down a little bit. Oh, can never do
I'll
that.
help you with that.
Can never do it. So that's my last one is number 10. Understand that your connection with your child, both when they are small and into adulthood, makes a huge difference. And you talked about this, including their sexual health and difficulties with transitions into the real world of independence as adults.
Mm-hmm.
So if the father isn't connected to the child, the research shows that those are the areas that they struggle most.
Yep.
So.
And then my number 10 is be quick to admit mistakes when you make them, apologize, and make appropriate restitution, and then move on.
Yeah. And in the book about parenting that I read, she calls that repair.
Oh, nice.
So you go back and you repair things and model that, you've learned from this and,
Right. And they're humans. It doesn't matter that they're young, so they deserve an apology.
Well, it's the same thing that I felt as a principal, right? Like sometimes I did say to people, well, you do remember that I'm a human being as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all human beings and we all, and yes, we've chosen to take on a leadership role and there are hard things about that. And there are things that we have to do, but that doesn't mean it doesn't impact us.
Right.
So, so that's our little bit about fathering. And on July 15th, we're going to talk about a book called, the theme for July is freedom. And so we're going to talk about a book called The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself by Michael A. Singer.
Tether. That reminds me of tetherball and the ball on the rope connected to the post.
So it's the untethered.
The untethered soul.
The untethered soul begins by walking you through your relationship with your thoughts and emotions, helping you uncover the source and fluctuations of your inner energy.
Sounds interesting.
And it then delves into what you can do to free yourself from the habitual thoughts, emotions, and energy patterns that limit your consciousness.
Sounds really good.
So it's very deep, but I like the book myself, and I'm actually going to
Do we have the soft cover, or is it on Amazon?
No, it's on...
on our Kindles.
It's on Kindle,
okay.
so you can...
I can read it.
But
I can read a hard copy too. But
no, but that means we don't have to share it. That you can read it and I can read it at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked a lot about fatherhood. I'm hoping that for some of the people that are in our circle, maybe they've taken a chance to listen to it, and nice. It might open some conversations up, at least on your part. And I think that as you kind of move into whatever, I think it would be a great thing to kind of start a fathering group, like with people at different stages of fathering, and see what cool. you could what you could make. It could be online, it could be meeting, whatever. But just you have a lot of like online
contacts
and connections. You could have a really cool, say, monthly group that just kind of talked about. And start by maybe sending them this list or the other podcasts we did and saying, hey, is there anybody out there that'd like to talk about some of these things? And just see where it goes and see if there's actual, like, if it's actually true that men don't want to, or that they just feel that they can't, or that there's not a place for them to do it. So anyway, I just think that would be neat. So thanks for joining us. Come back on July 15th for The Untethered Soul.
So I just wanted to say we have been looking at our download statistics, and we're seeing that there are probably listeners in 40 or 50 different countries.
Yeah.
So if you want to leave us a comment, we'd love to hear your opinion. If it's cultural or a different perspective on any of our episodes, you can go to the YouTube channel and comment below. You can go to our blog, which is noroomforphonies.com, and you can leave comments there. And on Podbean and Spotify, you can also leave comments there. So,
and I have gotten like some comments, but they're usually from local people who like know us or whatever,
Right.
but we'd love
It'd
to
be
hear
nice to have.
from people.
Oh, and on Facebook, there's the Facebook
Yeah.
page.
And
is-
Instagram.
And Instagram.
And Threads.
And Threads. So
Lots of places that you can.
For you to leave your comments. It would be really nice. And if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. And also on Spotify, if you want to leave a review, that'll help our positioning in the algorithm.
Thank you. All right. Well, enjoy the beginning of summer.
Mm-hmm.
School ended Friday, Thursday for some, Friday for others. So enjoy the beautiful weather, get outside, be active, and connect with us.
All right.